Hello. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about some facts and myths regarding glowfish. And I'm bringing this up because I've seen so many different things out there. There's a lot of misinformation about them. Um, a lot of people are really divided about it. You get some of these people who are the purists, so to speak, who get bent out of shape over them and say that they look tacky and whatever. And regardless, I'm not here to sit there and try and support that or argue that. I'm just saying, okay, these are the facts, these are what aren't. So the first thing we're going to get to is a little bit of history on what the glowfish are and how they came about to be. What happened was is that there were some scientists who got together and they were looking for ways with which they could track pollution in rivers. And as such, what they were looking for were some hardier type species that were capable of doing this. And the first thing they came up with as an indicator for helping them track pollution was to develop a fish that glowed in the presence of pollutants. So, in the first stage of the process, what they ended up having to do was to get the fish to glow in the first place, right? So, what they ended up doing was they took some fish. They started out with zebra danios, white skirt tetras, and then what they did is injected embryos with a glow gene from a jellyfish. And that's all it is it's just the color glow gene from a jellyfish into a regular zebra danios or a white skirt tetra. So from there, they were able to get the fish to glow. As far as where it went from there, I don't really have any idea. I just know that at that point, that it was basically sold to a marketing group, and they patented the Glowfish trademark and started releasing products. Now they did the injections into the embryos for the first few batches, but after they started getting a few breeding generations going, they actually quit doing it because they just breed the fish and they just are born that way. Um, so the first myth, of course, is that they're somehow painted or they're genetically modified and mutated in some really weird fashion or whatever. And it's like, no, they're not. They're just the same exact same fish. They just happen to have the glow gene from a jellyfish injected to them at some point in their genetic history. So that's the first myth. They're not painted or anything like that, like some people claim that they are, or gone through some seriously traumatic experience or whatever it might be. As you know now, for those of you who follow the research and development of glowfish, they've also added glow tiger barbs and the glow sharks, which are basically a albino rainbow shark with the glow gene injected into them. And once again, once they get breeding populations, they quit injecting the gene and they just breed them. So the other one that I really love, and this is quite frankly, it's ignorance on the part of the people who freaked out over it. Some people call them an invasive species. Well, if you heard this first part of the video, you would know how utterly ridiculous and stupid that is. Okay, for two reasons. First and foremost, the people complaining about glowfish being an invasive species, you don't see them saying jack about zebra danios or white skirt tetras, tiger barbs, or albino rainbow sharks as being invasive species. Yet the only difference between them and the glowfish is the glow gene from the jellyfish. The other second part of it is that they've actually found that when glowfish, somebody ends up releasing them into the wild, they have a very high degree of predation. because, quite frankly, a glowing fish makes a very easy target in the wild. So if you've got a regular white skirt tetra and then you've got a glowfish white skirt tetra that's glowing bright pink, which one do you think is going to be easier to be a target? Um, so the idea of them as an invasive species just simply doesn't jive with reality. So as far as those things are concerned, those are kind of the ideas behind it. It's once again, all you're talking about is a fish that's a common fish available in the aquarium hobby. Um, ones that people pick up all the time, and at some point in its history, its genetic history, it's had the glow gene from a jellyfish or even a coral, I guess in some cases, uh, spliced in or injected into its embryos. And now, once again, once you get a breeding population, they don't even do that. So, anyway, these are just some of the things about glowfish. As far as the people, complaining about them, as their look or their quote unquote unnatural or whatever, well, yes and no. I mean, yes, you're right. You're not going to see a white skirt tetra growing or glowing bright pink, but you can find a white skirt tetra and, of course, a jellyfish that does glow bright pink in nature. So it's just a merging of two different worlds, so to speak, um, in terms of how they're created. And as far as the look, that's all subjective. I'm going to come out and say it, and I may offend some folks with this, but quite frankly, being a saltwater guy, freshwater colors by and large are pretty boring. So glowfish are a great sort of niche there because what they end up doing is they allow people who don't have the finances and the resources to purchase, a saltwater setup or whatever to get these kinds of colors and such as and look that they want, to be able to go ahead and have the ability to do that now because of the glowfish, where they have something that's as simple as caring for zebra danios, white skirt tetras, or whatever, just with much brighter colors. Um, and so it's a good answer for those people who want to have the color without the cost and the maintenance of having a saltwater tank. So it really fits a good niche there. And so for that reason, I have no issues. And in point of fact, I actually like glowfish. And if you've seen my other videos, I even have a few glowfish tetras in my tank, and have had some different ones over time. So, anyways, these are just some of the things with glowfish. And I understand, some people they have different preferences, and some people, prefer the more muted colors of freshwater or whatever. And I'm just not from that school of thought. I want something bright, visible, standing out, and so I prefer the glowfish. And if it's a small genetic manipulation, such as a color gene and glow gene from a jellyfish or whatever, um, it's really not that big of a deal. So, anyways, those are just kind of some things and some thoughts on as far as the glowfish. The benefit that they offer for the people who, as I said, want that color without having the hassle of of maintaining or expense of maintaining a saltwater tank. So, and that's all I've got, and thanks for watching.